So we've talked about the Bible before,
Yeah, sure.
but so basically, like just to set the stage, recap that whole episode.
Okay. All right. So how about this? God chose to use various authors over the course of about 1,500 years to write this one grand story that we know as the Bible.
Right.
Okay. And God inspired each one of these individuals to write. It's not like they became like a robot or, he was just like a parrot sitting on their shoulder, that kind of thing. Each one is writing in their own language. So you see that some of the Bible is written in Hebrew, some in Aramaic, some in Greek.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Mm-hmm. And
Okay.
so they're writing in their own languages and they're writing in their own styles. So you see styles that are happening. You see Paul, for example, has truckloads of puns that he does throughout his letters. Puns.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh.
He's actually pretty funny at times. And so there's all this stuff that's happening in the midst of the letters. So in other words, their styles, their personalities are intact, but they're still writing the things that God is inspiring them to write. And I'm not saying it's like again, not like a robot. They're just being told. They're writing, and it's like God's going, yes, that's what I approve. That's what I said. Okay.
So it's like an editor at the newspaper.
Yeah, something like that. And the Bible is comprised of 66 books. All right, so there's 39.
66.
66.
God has a sense of humor.
Yes, he does. So there's 39. It's not 666 though.
Right.
Yeah, just 66.
Yeah, but Revenge of the Sith though.
Order 66.
Yeah.
I'm with you. All right. So 39 Old Testament, 27 New Testament, and they're written in all kind of different genres. So you've got historic books, narratives, prophetic, poetic. You have epistles, which are just letters written from individuals to churches or to other individuals. And then you've got like apocalyptic type literature.
Revelation.
Yeah, like Revelation is an example of that. And then basically what the Bible is doing at the very beginning is it's introducing God and introducing God in his creation. So what he has created. And then it moves pretty quickly. So if you're in the first book, you're in Genesis. By Genesis 12, he's moving pretty quickly into the calling and setting apart of Abraham. And from the line of Abraham comes Israel. And the rest of the Old Testament is dealing really with the story of Israel.
Okay.
And then you get in the New Testament, and you have the Gospels, Matthew, Mark, Luke, John, and they're introducing us to Jesus, the Messiah. Okay. And so, and then from that point, you have one book, the book of Acts, that's telling us the story of the early church. And then you've got some letters from some of its primary leaders.
Okay.
To churches and to other individuals. And then, of course, it ends with the book of Revelation, which you mentioned before, which is really like a vision of the end times and what this new restored creation will look like once Christ returns.
And we live in between Jude and Revelation right now.
Correct.
Okay, I remember that.
Correct. Man, way to know that Jude is right there before Revelation.
Oh, I know them all.
Well, that's strong, brother.
Yeah, I had to memorize them in Christian school.
Did you have a song that went with them? No.
So is any of what you just said up for debate?
Nah.
Okay, are you sure?
Okay, here's the part that actually is up for debate.
Okay.
Was the Bible actually inspired and without error?
Right.
Or is it not? And number two, are the collection of the books that are in there, are they actually the ones that God wanted in there?
Right, because people put them together.
Right, so for example, the Old Testament scriptures, okay, or the Hebrew scriptures, they are compiled over time and then it's put together and then basically confirmed at the Council of Jamnia around 90 AD.
Okay.
That's saying, hey, these are indeed the Hebrew scriptures that we are holding to.
Okay.
Okay. And then New Testament, it's kind of the same thing. It's a process. They're all written within the first century. Okay. There was first century AD, they're all written. And from that point, they begin to be collected. And then you see these early lists of the New Testament letters and Gospels being compiled. And Athanasius in 367. So, this is about 300 years later. In Athanasius, you see it's the complete list of what we've got today.
Okay.
And then that's confirmed 30 years later in 397 AD at the Council of Carthage, where they finally say, hey, yes, we are confirming these are the books that are considered New Testament canon.
Okay.
And by canon, I just mean like standard.
Well, we should do an episode where we go through all the books that they rejected, and you can
now that would be fun.
Tell me why they were rejected.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
Okay.
Yeah, we don't have time to get into all that today, but that would be fun. Absolutely.
Okay.
So so there are disagreements of inspiration and how they're compiled and are put together. But for the Bible that we have, that's, for most conservative Christians that hold to orthodoxy, and by orthodoxy I mean like just orthodoxy in their beliefs. Okay, we're going to hold to the fact that yes, this is the scriptures of God, and they are indeed inspired.